fuck shit up or what? All right, right on. This is a big show, man. There's a lot of people that work behind the scenes. Most people never ever get to see them. They drive the buses, they tune our guitars, they fucking do the sound, they take care of everything. There's a band from right here in England called Motorhead. They call these people the Road Crew. I want you to give it up for the Road Crew download.
Welcome to the Music Combine. This is the Roadie Roundtable. Greg, I'm excited today. Very excited. You know how excited I am for this episode? Do I look excited? I feel excited.
You were a little kid when you came up with the idea, so I figured, guys in one place and see what fucking happens.
Remember Chuck? Remember Chuck? I'm an ideas man. So we're just gonna get to it.
Right. Feed the tuna fish mayonnaise.
That's right. Tuna fish mayonnaise. We have some amazing. Bill to shut up. we have two recurring guests on here, which is awesome. It's our first two repeat guests. We'll just start off with we have Stephen Shaw here from episode 4. Tour manager for Cage the Elephant, Drowning Pool, Stone Sour, you name it, he's been there. A mentor of mine. We have Patrick King, our firm sponsor for the show.
Cheers.
With Road Dog Coffee, works for Hell Yeah, Lamb of God. We have Neil Lim Sang. I love Neil. I do love Neil. Neil is just a good dude, but also is probably the most amazing photographers in rock right now. Shot the last Slayer show, amongst other things. Does about 200 shows a year. He's here to give us a perspective. We have Matt Woods, front of house for Trivium and for Black Dahlia Murder, which are two of my favorite bands. Right. We have the mighty Viking James McMahon here from Amon Amarth. We also have one of his partners in crime, if I don't burp that one out. Weston Blaha joins us today. Say that 5 times fast.
Weston Blaha. Weston Blaha. Yo, that's it.
And from Judas Priest and Kiss, Michael Berger is also here, which we love him. He's our favorite dude over there. And last but not least.
And I'm German. I apologize in advance.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But
Greg, you'll have to do your accent later for him.
Don't do all the jokes. Bring him. I like it. I've heard them all, but there's always a new one somewhere.
What if I talk back to you like this? Is it going to be weird? Or is it?
Are you from Turkey?
My dad's from Turkey, actually. I'm not Turkish, but I'm Armenian. But yeah.
Armenian.
You called that.
But last but not least, one of my favorites, man. Always a good buddy of ours, man. We always get to see here in town is Brian Moran from Slash and from Stone Sour and Mark Morton.
Where's Brian?
He is down below there somewhere. And last but not least, here he comes. Don't call him late for dinner. Just call him. Marcys Scefer in the building.
Back.
My Figure Death Punch.
Nice.
Is here as well. So awesome.
I'm back.
You're back. We love having you.
I'm back. I made it. Sorry, guys, I'm late.
The thing is we kind of put this episode together because I felt like everyone, well, first off, can be in one place at one time during the certain circumstances. And also, I thought it'd be really cool to get the family reunion going because at some point, everyone on this page or in this forum today has toured together and has some really amazing experiences. And kind of want to get everyone together for the little family reunion. So here we freaking are. So, Greg, you want to start off with the first questions, dude? Start it off, buddy.
Yeah, so any of the questions I ask you, you guys are going to know the answer to because you are all about you. So, it's all about you. So,
wow, Greg. Wait.
All right.
Wait from Jack Handy. Fuck off. So, right now, right, each of you are going to answer this individually. For right now, presently, what's been going on with you post-COVID or during this time, and how are you handling it, and what are you guys doing right now? Like, tell me presently. We'll start with Neil.
So draw the top.
Well, I was planning on doing some touring with some bands this summer, and I was really looking forward to quite a few different tours. And 2020 was going to be my year. And yeah, if 2020 was a drink, it'd be a colonoscopy. Because it's been pretty interesting. So for me, I'm a music photographer, so I work with different bands. I work with different radio stations and everything like that. Everything went away. But fortunately for me, I have another job, which has been my main job. I do computer animation and digital work for movies and television. And normally that would have changed pre-COVID, because most of the studios I work for, they want you to be there. But fortunately, I've been able to work from home. And so I'm actually working for a place right now that I would never have gotten a job for because they'd want me to relocate. And
Sure.
I don't want to move. So I've been good and working, but I really want to tour and I want to get out.
Very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
With work and but yeah,
but I've been fortunate.
Bands that you were going to tour with, and like, you know,
well, I would have gone out on the tour of the year with some with Lamb of God and Trivium and In Flames and Megadeth, all friends that I've known for a little while. And then there's a couple other things in the works that well, when everything started happening, I was just like, oh, well, it's not looking too good, so I better get back to the other day job. So,
grind.
Yeah. So,
Right.
but it's been interesting because I've seen a lot of people like, oh, I'm missing shows. I'm missing
Like
this.
Fuck. What I meant.
Move your camera a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Sorry to the butt.
Go in, James.
I'm on board, guys.
Yeah.
Who moved the camera?
Yeah. So, like I was saying, this is like I've seen a lot of people talking about like, oh, they're missing shows and this and that, and I feel for a lot of my friends and a lot of the bands that dropped killer records, and I was looking forward to seeing and getting out there and capturing some stuff. But you know, I've been pretty good because I didn't think I would. I thought I'd be worse off because I do a lot of shows, but I've been okay with it. It's not like I feel like I'm missing out because nobody's able to do anything. So I've just been able to shift my thought process and going, hey, it's not like I'm home and I can't go out and see these shows. So it's been a little bit better for me.
It's a good way of looking at it. And I also think, you know, at the fact that you're, you look at it the way you do you think this is going to, I guess, is it going to, you think next year and the year after are going to make up for all the fucking lost time? And that's a question for all of you too to consider too. But like,
honestly, I have no idea how it's going to be. Like, I mean,
nobody's contacted ever since
well, it's just like, I mean, nobody can contact anyone because nobody knows. Like, you get dates for something and then it shifts and then it shifts again. So it's just kind of like everybody's just waiting to see how it goes. And it's just like, I was supposed to be in Sweden for a festival in September that finally just got canceled. And, you know, it's just like, we can't travel.
Right.
So it's just like, well, how can you plan for anything?
Yeah.
Don't know anything. So
Thank you for answering that.
yeah.
We're gonna go down the Mike. You want to?
Yeah, I mean, James, like, you know, you've had an interesting experience as well in the sense that you went back to doing restaurant stuff, right? From, you know, touring with Amon or touring with Of Mice and Men. How has that kind of changed? I mean, do you like it? Do you not? Is it something that, because there was one thing that we kind of talked about on Steve's episode a little while ago, and this is something for everyone to give a little answer. Would there ever be a chance that like people leave the touring industry and maybe find something else that they like in this time and kind of move forward in that direction? Are you leaning towards that, or are you dying to get back on the road?
All right. Well, to answer the first part of your question, when I got off the road with the last Amon European tour in December of 2019, had a couple months off. I did that intentionally to spend a little bit of time at home. And then I was going to pick up a tour kind of like springtime into the summer, head back to do the festivals in Europe with Amon. And so I was just going to, pick up some work at home. And, I had bartended for years. And I was looking for, just something like that, just extra income, cash flow. And I had this one interview show up. And it was for a bar management position, which I'd done for years before I even got into like production industry. And so I took it. They offered me like $50K a year. I was like, this is gonna be good for a couple of months, and then I'll get back on the road. Just to bide the time. Really, because and literally after 6 weeks, that's when COVID really hit the States, and that's when they started shutting everything down. And I was furloughed from this job as well until about June. June 15th is when we kind of reopened back up. And, being in a restaurant and how things are with that, I looked a lot different as well. And I think that's going to be kind of like, it showed me as individually a precursor to what things are going to look like when we do start opening up for shows. And I really hate that it's going to be that shows and concerts and what we do, it seems to be the last rung on the ladder of what we're going to get back to. Yeah. Unfortunately, when they say the phasing reopening, concerts is kind of like the last thing on everyone's mind. Obviously not ours or the fans or the band. That's probably the first thing on our mind. So it's something that, that pays the bills right now. And, obviously I want to get back to doing production work. That's what I do. And that's what we all do. It definitely leaves an itch that'll never get scratched. Now, as far as as returning to production work, obviously it's definitely on my mind. I haven't really given any considerable amount of thought to saying, with what's happened, I don't think I could take being off of a career for a year again. If SARS, COVID 27 Alpha Zebra comes out, in 2021 and sends everyone, for a fucking crazy loop like this again.
Yeah.
I want to get back on the road as much as anybody else does. I haven't really thought about getting out of the industry, and I'm pretty much just riding the wave, just like everyone else is, kind of see where this goes, see kind of like what the end of this looks like, and, pretty much taking it punch and curveball at a time.
Yeah.
James, how old are you?
I am 37, just turned 37.
Your age, Greggy boy.
My age, yeah.
So I'm gonna jump over to Burger real quick, because him and I kind of talk on a regular basis about other business stuff, and you're doing real estate type stuff when you're not on the road with KISS, right? You're not working for G.
Yeah, that's correct. About 3 years ago, I started with real estate because I wanted an exit strategy all this time. I've been talking to Stephen Shaw probably 8 years ago. I got to get off the road at some point. I have 2 children. And, the inconsistency of that and being home, not being home with the children kind of killed me inside, in some ways. And I wanted to see them grow up. And so in my mind, I was, back when I was working for Deep Purple 10 years ago, I was like, I got to get on the road. It's too much. And I'm 51
right
in 2 days. Wow. And it gets harder to be on the road. As you may know, working for someone like Gene Simmons, it can be very abusive. And
Oh, really?
What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm abusive?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you
It's
mean?
a good gig.
Roy doing that.
It's a good gig.
What do I mean?
And so I was hoping that the end of the road tour, which I was signed up,
would really be the end of the road.
Fall of 2018, I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be the end of the road for me as well, right? Let me just finish this tour with KISS. In the meantime, I'm building my real estate, the marketing and I'm talking to guys like Gene or Eric in the band. Hey, I'm doing real estate, and they all, it's a good idea. It's not bad to do that. Why don't you continue doing that? You finish the tour, and we'll see. So as of today, I have a listing here in the area I live in. So it's like with everything, it's work. You gotta be on it, and it's not easy. I've been touring for 30 years. I started as a kid in Germany, touring with some bands there locally, and I got introduced to international bands fairly quick. And so 30 years of touring, that's all I know. And I've done artist relations for German amp manufacturers, right, for instance. And then you get the calls, as you all know. Okay, hey, can you do this tour and this? And it never ends, right?
One leads to the other. That's a great thing, though, that it lasted that long. That ride is huge. It's basically the opposite of what James is saying. Is he's 37, you're 51, so it's a good perspective right now for everybody. Like for me, I'm 37. I don't know if I can ever do anything else and think about doing anything else but music. But I have like regular gig too, man. Like I've always had a regular gig in marketing and sales. So it's at least that helped me, right? Build an individual income right on the side that helped me do passionate stuff that I want to do all the time. But like at the same point, you're James making money from it, right? And that's like great for me. I'm not making great money as a musician, original independent artist. Now I'm starting to. But so what happens here is that this guy Michael decided to get into real estate, build his side hustle into a full-time thing, and you've had all that time to do that. So you just you maybe tapped out a little earlier than anticipated, but you were right there anyway. So you must feel actually kind of relieved a little bit. Would you agree with that?
Yes, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. So as we all know, all of a sudden you're confronted with the reality. Damn, I gotta get listings now. I gotta get the business going. Before it was like, okay, I got the tour, money's coming in, the wife is working, right? Because she's laid off too. She worked for a company called Princess Cruises, as you can imagine. The cruise industry is dead, right? There's no cruise ships anywhere, right? So, but obviously she collects unemployment, so we're kind of okay. But having two kids, I don't know if any of you guys have kids.
Oh, yeah.
So you always have that, back here. You want to provide for them. And we're living in Los Angeles. It's not cheap.
Shocking.
Peking.
Oh yeah, man.
Video recording or just
it's video recorded.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, no, of course. So, King, what's been up with you, buddy? It's fucking Friday. I agree.
You're supposed to do shots.
Yeah.
It's literally Roadie Friday every day. So
Every day.
Every day. So what's good with you, King? Give us
Me?
a buddy.
I ain't doing shit. No, I'm
Home the desert.
You made all this money.
That's right. I'm gonna wander for 40 years. I'm doing the coffee thing, as you know.
Right.
And coming up with new and different ideas all the time for that. I've got some other ideas in the hopper as far as things I want to do and, things I might want to put out there eventually. So just kind of coming up with business ideas right now. The good thing for me is when all this unemployment shit was going on and they weren't seeing my shit with the state. So I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I was like, damn, I'm fucked. But when they finally figured out what the problem was, they hit me with a big lump sum of back due shit.
Yep.
And that is helping tremendously for me to be able to maintain and take care of business. That being said, when I talked to you guys on the former deal, I was out in San Diego helping my son get moved, got him straightened out, got home, hey, how you doing? How's it going? Sorry, Wes. So then got back home and then had to turn around and my son's truck went to shit. So we had to end up go and get him another car. So the money's starting to shrink. But he's covered now and they're grown. They're good. They got that shit done. Other than that, I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm going to figure it out. I just go day to day and see what's coming about. And I've got ideas all over the place, and I just kind of follow up on certain things and kind of come up with different streams of revenue across the board.
Right. And I can totally relate to that, man. And,
And this shirt is not one of my streams of revenue, by the way.
Should be.
So has anybody benefited from the PPP from the bands that you work for? Michael.
No.
Oh,
I have no idea for that.
Because the guys didn't apply for it.
How about
You're kidding.
How about any of the rest of you? Have any of the bands?
Oh well,
No, nothing.
No.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I
With
did.
5-finger death punch.
They're good on their business case right away about applying for the PPP loan. They got it, and as long as it was around, it's not around anymore.
Right.
But while it was around, we did receive half salary.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah, it worked
Nice,
out.
yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, so if
Yeah,
you
I know my roommate got that.
didn't, you should check into it because you might have back pay that is due to you guys. Just kind of giving that tip to you because
There's also an SBA loan or $1,000 grant
Right.
as well as a loan available. And I didn't read a lot into it, but what it looked like was a 30-year loan.
it's
And
like
it's a 30-year loan at like 1%. So
most.
So I might even consolidate my debt under that during this.
You
and
can't
then
do it. They won't let you. I tried.
no, they won't let you do the debt part.
You have to have like a company that your own company.
Well, then never mind.
Yeah. No, but dude, the other thing is you could apply for the thing. You should check into it for yourself because there was no any kind of like criteria to meet with
Right.
just getting.
I just filled out another form like I did with Music Cares and Crew Nation, and they just kind of sitting and waiting at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
I just heard from Music Cares about getting a check. I think they're finally sending one. And I think Crew Nation, you can apply again. Like if you already got paid, they're doing it for June now.
Right.
That you can apply for.
Brian Moran and I had a conversation about this the other night. Brian, what was the thing with Music Cares that you said you did alternately other than going for that payment to Music Cares?
Well, what we were talking about was making donations to it rather than trying to, because I'm in fine financial shape here. I've always had other things, other revenue streams. So I was never really in a really bad situation, but I know a lot of people that were. So I figured on the flip side of it, knowing that it was available for people that needed it, they probably needed somebody to start helping on the back end to fund the rest of the people that were out there not getting work. So I opted to do that side of it, to donate rather than try to pull from it.
Right. Well, that's great, dude. That's great too. Yeah.
It's also good if you get the grant to like kick $50 back into it or something.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously every little bit counts. I mean, there's thousands of people out of work.
Yeah. $9.50 is just as good as $1,000.
Sure. Yeah. It's that extra case of beer that you're missing though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, we're gonna jump to. I guess I'm gonna actually ask Matt. Right before this, can you what were you doing? And before all this, you were with them still. That's what you guys have been doing anyway. But you just started working again most recently with that show that you set up.
Well, so we just did that live stream, but I mean, like that was like less than a week of work, really, for the most part. Before everything hit, I was working for, I took a job with AEG as a production manager for a venue downtown in Detroit. And also Trivium was supposed to go out of town to do festivals like with Slipknot, like in Japan and Indonesia and stuff. And when AEG shut everything down, like I was talking to our tour manager, I'm like, so what's going on with this Asia tour? This doesn't seem like it's going to happen. He's like, no, we're still doing it. I'm like, that's weird. Okay. And then like literally like a few days later, they're like, okay, we're not doing it. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought. But
oh, I told you.
Yeah, it's been weird. Like had a lot of AEG meetings every week, stuff like that, trying to keep up on what's going on. And finally everyone else got furloughed. And between like AEG and Live Nation, so far, like the last I heard was like nothing's going back until there's really a vaccine. And at this point, like, I've heard people saying that it might not go back to shows until like 2022. So
yeah,
that's the last I've heard about it.
That sucks.
That would really suck. I mean, but like everyone said, like everything keeps changing.
Yeah.
So
because nobody really knows. Those fucking 1%ers, man, manipulating everything. Fucking shit. All right.
I got $1 billion.
Okay. Next caller.
Whoa. And that's when the round table took a turn.
And that's when it took a turn. Marcus. So you're with Five Finger before all this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you guys had a pretty stacked schedule with the new record coming out and stuff like that.
We did, yeah. We got home in late February from Europe, a big European tour, and landed smack dab in the middle of a lockdown. And I was in Milan 2 weeks before they closed that down, and it became a huge hotspot. So luckily I dodged that bullet, knock on wood. Yep. But
we're going to Milan.
Not anymore.
Puppy,
I should have been out on tour with Five Finger again right now. That got pushed back till September, which now we're hearing from Matthew Woods down there that may not happen till 2022. So we don't really know what's going to happen yet. In the meantime, I've been at home enjoying unemployment and some of those other benefits we talked about. Enjoying running through my savings, cleaned every gun in the vault, did every guitar in the closet.
That's what I was waiting
did the
for.
yard.
You're right, Shaw. He was doing something.
So, yeah. In the meantime, I've also been killing time doing firearms training again, falling back on the old military skills, teaching scared people how to shoot. Got a lot of people around here in Seattle, especially. Oh, got the Chaz. What do we do? Protesters. Shit's going on. Feds are invading. Okay, well, this is your safety. Rule number 1. Let's start there. And then just build from that. So luckily, I've got some I can fall back on. Yeah. And I'm looking to do some other investigative and security type work. I've got some friends out there that do that type of work. So something with my background I can jump into easily.
And your background is, can you let everybody know? Because
I was in the military for a long time. And I was Army. Fought George Bush Sr.'s war on drugs down in Central and South America for a number of years. Wow. And got out of that, came home, jumped into music, did the sales, marketing, and artist relations for a bunch of companies for a while, and then started touring when the economy tanked in 2008.
All right,
as a tech. So
you guys got to dive in. You each individually need your own show because there's so much. It's like not fair. It's like you just had to go through that, and I want to ask you, how did you get there? How did you meet this? How did you do this? So we're going to get into that too as well. But that's fucking badass, man. So then we have Brian. That's right. Yeah.
Mr. Moran.
Brian.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what the original question
The
was.
original question is you're going into it. What have you been doing? And you said
42.
So you've been doing.
He plays golf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Golf instructor.
Seems like you're like a full-time musician from your in the back. You're like you got a lot.
No, you know what? I just really I appreciate the instrument. You know what I mean? So
the double.
I play a little bit.
Just hanging guitars on the wall.
I just like them.
You guys have a Brian, you can,
Oh, I'm falling.
That's what you call a guitarsenal.
You got a boat behind
Guitar.
There's more around. What I've been doing, this is the first time in probably 22 years that I completed a honeydew list while I was home.
Nice.
So there's a benefit.
Wow. Good woman.
You know, for months, absolutely nothing was going on. So locally, we just about 2 weeks ago had the first live shows available. It was people were parked in cars. We transmitted FM. So we did 3 days of shows. One was just local bands, local original bands. Then we had a tribute band night, and then the last night was with Jim Gaffigan doing some stand-up comedy just in the parking lot of the local arena.
How is that?
That's cool.
How was the experience with that? How is it really weird or what? Tell me. Tell us.
It was. So I don't. In Pennsylvania, there's some weird things going on with them locking things back down and implementing the orders to social distancing and how many people you're allowed in a restaurant. Yep. So it was an ever-changing thing over the weeks while we were trying to plan it. How many stagehands we could actually have in one place to build a stage? How many, who's going to provide sound? Do we need to have sound for outside because people weren't technically supposed to exit their cars? So do we need to bring a PA in? Is it just broadcast video? There was a lot of wheels in motion that nobody had an answer to. So we didn't. It was more like it ended up being more like a throw and go. That 3 days before the show, they're like, okay, this is what we're doing. It seems like it's allowed. So bring some video walls. We're going to broadcast FM, bring a couple little PA speakers, a couple MSL4s just on the deck just to fill in. And they ended up bringing some food trucks in. So they let people exit the car to get food with a mask on and then get back in. And you were...
I would imagine if everybody's wearing a mask, that reduces the amount of hassle that you have to deal with, but there's no protocol for this, so it's like you're making this up on the go. So I mean, all in all, the shows went well.
Well, the turnout wasn't what they were hoping for anyway. I mean, even the biggest night was only 125 cars, which doesn't equate to a whole lot of people, but I think they were expecting a lot more out of it. But in general, it was a success in the fact that we proved that we could put on some kind of show despite all the problems that we're having with this virus and completely destroying our industry. At least we could do something where people could get together, have a beer, cheers through the window next door to each other, and enjoy a night and enjoy some music.
Do the crowds clap after the performance?
Who knows? They were all in a car.
In their cars.
I would think the most awkward thing would be for a stand-up comic, because you get no react. Like, you're telling jokes.
Oh, that sucks.
They flash their lights.
You're telling jokes. But there was a 28-second delay on the broadcast of the car. So as you're saying things,
what were you gonna do? Bleep out cursing? I mean, why was there a 28-second delay?
Just because of how they had it all. Because it wasn't one company dealing with everything. It was a conglomeration. So by the time they got the video to sync with the audio and then the broadcast and all of that kind of stuff, there was just a delay.
That's got to take away from the band's ability to be pumped up in performing. There's no reaction especially for a stand-up comic, like you said, and the delay on top of it. It's doesn't that kind of jeopardize the morale of the fucking performance? And I just feel awkward doing it. I mean,
there was a funny moment when one of the opening comics kind of made an off-colored remark, and it took 30 seconds for people to hear it. And I guess that, some people were beeping their horn, and they're like, I don't know what you're beeping it for. I guess I got to watch what I'm saying in Pennsylvania. So she didn't know what her joke was that people were offended by, but she knew somebody was offended.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
So there's a few hurdles they got to get over before they can.
Yeah, there's one or two. But like I said, I mean, it was nice to see Mcmahon-Stage, even though it was in the parking lot. People were in cars. And it was nice to see some of the old, after a few months, some of the local stagehands and people. I'm a member of our local stagehand union as well, so I work with these people when I'm home. Awesome. So, it was good to see everybody at least getting a little bit back to work. And, of course, the biggest question everybody had there was, how is this going to affect my unemployment? If I get 3 days of work, are they going to kick me off the list? And so there was a lot of people that didn't take a call just because they didn't want to lose. I hate to use the term lose because they're not losing, but not getting the stimulus money.
Right.
So I got management to delay my pay.
Your claim if you refuse work?
Excuse me?
Doesn't that affect your claim if you refuse work?
I would assume it does if you're honest on the questionnaire, but have you ever known an honest stagehand?
Here's what you do.
I don't know. My wife's a bartender. She's on unemployment and works 1 day a week. It's still...
Sure. Yeah, I think you could do up to 30% or something without affecting it.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So you just said the answer right there. So that's if you could claim, whatever you do, and they give you the difference. And then there was a big international meeting about it before we ended up doing this. So they cleared away any whatever trepidations people had about doing the work. Well, that's fucking crazy, dude. It's like everybody we're talking about this like in real time and not even talking about memories yet. But Weston, we haven't gotten to you yet, right?
I don't think so.
And I would love to hear from you.
Sorry, Wes.
Well, down in Knoxville, Tennessee.
On tour, huh?
Sell some land through my brother-in-law's land development company at a commission. So I'm with my wife in a hotel room right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's really nice in that room.
So to sum it up, I've been collecting unemployment, but it was like 9 weeks before I got approved. Mm-hmm. So that was really stressful. I was like kind of wondering if I was going to get it or not, or get the back pay, whatever happened. So I live in Oregon, but I get paid through Massachusetts. So I've been claiming 9 weeks in Oregon thinking like that's the right thing to do. And then I reached out to somebody else, and they were like, "No, you should apply in Massachusetts," you know. And then so I applied in Massachusetts, not knowing you could apply for a state you didn't live in.
Mm-hmm.
And I got through right away, and they paid me back. They actually adjusted my back pay to give me more weeks of benefits.
Yeah, they back.
So it's like I took a little bit of a hit in the back pay, but I get more in the future pay, you know. So, which is great. And that's been, you know, been fine for us. We've been able to lower our overhead quite a bit in the past couple of years, you know. So like we have tenants we rent a place out to. We, you know, I work for a local sound company that's like in with the school districts.
Right.
So when the whole COVID thing happened, I was in South America with Amon Amarth, and we got flown home early, probably like 17 days early. So we lost, you know, all that. And then, so I came home, and I basically was wiping down Chromebooks with Chromebooks that the school had, because they were going to have to homeschool, and they needed to make these computers available to all the kids. So I had like, you know, a week and a half of probably 9 to 5, you know, when I got home. So that was cool. Wasn't on unemployment at the time, so I didn't have to claim any of that. I was trying to get the benefits, blah, blah, blah. And that kind of dried up actually, you know, after all the students like got their books and everything. And so between the unemployment and these little piddly things like high school graduation things, and I do like some church installs and, you know, training on those systems and stuff like that. You know, that's been kind of like that, and unemployment, and like these land sale deals we're doing every other weekend. That's kind of been how we've been staying afloat. And honestly, tax returns from last year were pretty sweet. So that's going to carry us through the winter. And, you know, but I'm just kind of looking forward to like when that money runs. I don't want to spend our savings like anybody else doesn't. I know there's a lot of people in worse spots. So I'm like trying to give money back when I can or whatever. And just try to stay positive. I mean, it's day by day here, you know. It's like I got 2 kids. I got a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. I want to make sure they have a good future. I got a wife to take care of. So, I mean, as we all probably have significant others and people we care about, that we want to make sure, you know, survive through this thing, you know, and not just mentally, but financially and everything else. And so the plan for next year, I mean, I'm kind of going as like I'm never going back on tour because I don't know what's happening, and I can't like rely on like a dangling carrot being like put in front of my face every other, you know. So with my buddy's expertise that he's doing now, and this is like my best friend I go snowboarding and mountain biking with, we're going to try to grow hemp next year on 20 acres and make a bunch of money and then reinvest it into another business.
There you go.
So, I mean, that's kind of, I'm trying to spin my head to see what I can do to like, to provide and just be not broke and not unhappy at the same time, you know? Of course, we'd all like to get back to making things louder and making things sound better and tuning things properly and intonating and whatever tweaking shit that we do. Because like we're the special breed that's like a little bit OCD and we like to make things right.
We got problems.
We got problems. That's our own tour. But you know, I mean, like it's just trying to like, you know, now I'm like at the bottom of the barrel on anything that I do. You know, I mean, my experience was in touring and in sound and production, and so
how
it's kind of a little hard pill to swallow a little bit. You know,
how old are you?
34.
You guys are young. Yeah, you got a nice collective group of people. You got the OG Shaw.
The old guys.
Oh, OG Wing Commander.
Yeah.
Wing Commander, what's up? Adult daycare.
Advanced daycare.
Yeah.
Advanced adult daycare.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we got Steve, right? We got
Yeah, Shaw.
let's close it up with this question with Steve, and then we're gonna go on to some other questions and you know, get the morale boosted up here a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my story is absolutely just like everybody else's. It's not dissimilar in any way. I was on tour over in Europe. My last show was Milan. Marcus was mentioning that. You know, pulled up the 10 spikes fortunately only one show early, came back, had a pretty good feeling that this was going to get gnarly, so I went and got a job right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked for Amazon. But, I mean, you know, to make a long story short, I've been just doing that, looking after my wife who's very ill, and volunteering around the neighborhood, helping out older folks that need help, and whoever needs help, and making music with my brother David. And I have absolutely no delusions of grandeur of what's going to happen. I'm just taking this one day at a time, like everybody else. I think everybody stated it perfectly.
You know, I'm wishing your wife well, man. You know, I think everybody here is absolutely has the best intentions for.
Yeah, thanks. It's a little different right now because in addition to cardiovascular disease, she has cerebral vascular disease, which has affected 30% of her brain. So it's
I can only
it's a lot of adjusting to getting used to with her.
Appreciate you being here today, but you know,
personality-wise.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Any of us can only imagine, you know. But you're handling yourself really well, it looks like, and
thank you.
Happy you're here because you are
happy to be here.
To have you here, bro.
Except that you switched over to bass from guitar.
We love you, man.
Wait, well, hold on.
Here's the sixth string.
Ouch.
So ear snorkel.
I snorkel.
Who's contractually obligated to get the Audio Technica logo in there at some point?
Endorsement deal, right?
And the EFM hat never goes anywhere without him.
Yeah. Actually, it goes with my Amazon uniform. That's actually why I wear it. They don't give you Amazon hats. They give you Amazon everything else.
Well, that's an awesome because Mikey has.
Oh, puppy.
Al would be proud.
Oh, the pup.
Hey, look at that fella.
What's is that a girl or a boy?
This is Lola.
I know
this is my girlfriend.
God.
There she is.
Yeah.
She's been down here trying to jump on my lap for the past 20 minutes. So had to let her up for a minute.
That's because you have bacon in your pocket.
What do you have?
Little chestnut. Secret.
That's how I get all my dates.
Yeah.
That's how I get all my dates. Bacon in the pocket.
That's a doggy roofie.
Yeah, I'm real popular at the dog park, you know.
Bacon strips.
Just pulling bitches.
So, Mike,
if only I had opposable thumbs.
You could potty train a cat. It's fucking crazy. I'm not even kidding.
So most of you guys have toured.
You do potty train a what?
Cat.
Cat. Potty train a cat.
Yeah, well, hey,
good luck.
Good luck on that one. So most of you guys have actually all toured together in some form or fashion. Have worked for similar companies. What's the one thing, you know, you guys collectively, and we'll go through it real quick, like collectively miss? Is it the camaraderie? Is it kind of the job? Is it the lack of activity? Like, what is the thing that you guys miss?
Is it just all of it?
All of it?
All of them, yeah. All three. All three things for me, yeah. I miss hanging out with my friends.
The build up to the final product, you know? Like,
Yep.
It's just like going through the steps every day and making sure you're doing things right and doing the things that you're best of your ability and the best of your knowledge, and try to put the best product out there for the audience. You know, I mean, that's kind of like what you try to do. I mean,
the 10 seconds before you hit the mute button.
Off along the way.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, Brian.
Actually, what Wes said, and what Marcus said, that's it. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that and sleeping with the good hum of a bus generator, you know.
And the free food.
Yeah. Free food.
Per EMs. Free money.
Truck
Cash
stops.
in your pocket.
It's truck stops. So,
Truck stops at 3 a.m. Yeah.
When you guys are at the level you're at, when you're doing pro, you know, stage sound production, the show production, with the mindset of the band when they go on go on stage to play, and then you guys, are you there with them right before they go on stage? You're all in your little stations, right, and ready to fucking rock.
Yeah.
Like when that show goes down and it happens and it's fucking awesome. At the end of the show, what's the feeling that you get? Like, do you get like kudos from the band? You guys all like, because I don't know what that's like on that level. Yeah. And that's something why you guys are on the show, because I want to know that. Like, I know that when I go on stage with my band, I feel great. But I don't have people I'm working with outside. We're not at that level at all. And I don't even know if I ever will be, but I don't care because I love playing. And that's the brotherhood that I love. And I know there's a camaraderie there that's just kind of infectious. And like, it kind of makes you feel like you're really living in the moment. And that's my favorite part about doing that in general. So for you guys, is it like that afterwards as well? With, a good show, you fucking band's fucking pumped up.
When the show hits, it's fucking greatness, and when everything goes off like it should, everything performed as it should, the entertainers are happy, then you feel like you smashed it. And like the same as they do, when that show is impeccable, that crowd loves it, and you feed as much off of their energy of loving it that lets you know that you did a fucking great job. And when your shit is infallible, then your entertainers come off, they're happy, they're thrilled, and that just does wonders for you, and it makes everything else flow like clockwork. It's great.
That's what's up, man. So, I mean, like Michael Berger for a Kiss show. What's the pressure mentally on that, like, to go the way it needs to go? And what are you doing exactly? You could say what you do, and each of you have to say this too, because each of you do one thing or another in what you do. So you could tell everybody what you do, and then maybe answer the rest of the question, which is there any type, like, what's the pressure like? Is there pressure? Is it like?
Well, yeah, I mean, from experience working for different accounts, different bands, if you compare Judas Priest with Kiss, Judas Priest, English band, super nice guys. They're nice behind the scenes. They're also nice on stage. So there's always the pressure. Everything's got to be right. You don't want to have any problems on stage. That counts for everything, right? For every band. But with Judas Priest, for instance, you really do get the great job tonight. Let's go out on the days off. I see you at the bar at 7:30 type thing. With Kiss, it's strictly business. You better get everything right or you get yelled at, right? It's a lot of pressure, especially working for Gene, one of the most difficult guys on stage. And you got to figure out, are you going to take it personally, or are you going to melt down every time he's looking at you and yelling at you and calling you all sorts of names? Or you're just going to goes in here or goes out there, and you're confident enough to understand that you're doing a really good job. Even if he beats you down, you're doing a really good job.
So you literally, you fucking have to deal with the fucking actual verbal abuse that he just can be saying and reacting to any moment, and he doesn't even realize what's going on your end, but just so starts fucking spurting shit to you, and somebody could take that personally and just be like, fuck this shit after a while. But I don't know, is there only so much you could take from that, or is it like not so bad?
Well, the older you get, it's if there's problems at home or you miss your family, there's times when you don't feel good, and you don't give a shit how you feel, right? You better function, you better get your shit right. So we all know that. And there was times when you get texts, right? It really depends on what he's going through as well, right? I mean, there's times when it's good, it's quiet for a week or so, and all of a sudden there's another week of just fucking abuse, right? It's like, oh my God, this again, right?
Like a bad month. Day on
so, as you all know, the show has so many elements, right? Things can go wrong. I'm the first one that needs to hear if the CO2 cannon is not going off the right way, or the lift is stuck or something. As soon as that lift comes down, he's coming towards me and yells at me. So I'm the buffer, right? So you get to know that. Once you know that, you deal with it a certain way, and 30 years of experience will help. And sometimes he says, hey, don't take me too serious when I'm up there. I'm pumped up. I'm wearing my makeup and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah. And you got to separate that yourself and be like, just like, this is like a gig of a lifetime. And if I take it personally, I very much easily can, but I'm not going to let myself.
And it's a lot of prep work, right? It takes a lot of time to get, especially Gene's gig ready. It's so much stuff is involved, And not only they sell not only do you have to set up the regular gear, especially at the end, they have been selling equipment, right? Like stage plate bases, meet and greet experiences. All of a sudden you're involved in all sorts of stuff. And it gets, it can be a little overwhelming. Oh, we sold 10 bases today, modify them and set them up. And, it's not like those bases are always good quality, right? So you got to polish the turret a little bit here and there.
Oh yeah.
And make it sound good, and he doesn't care. He said, why does this bass not sound as good as the other one? And you explain to him, because of that, I don't care, I don't want to hear it, So you can't win
Gene,
sometimes.
it's a piece of shit.
As long as I make money, it's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But I don't want to slag it off or anything. After all, I've been doing this for 10 years with the KISS guys. I love him. I like Gene. He's a great guy. I was just emailing with him about something else the other day, and Gene is Gene, right? And KISS is KISS. Judas Priest is a different account. Buck Cherry, right? Those guys. And everybody is different, right? Some guy may not work out for, say, Gene, and some other guy may not work out for Death Angel or whatnot. It really depends how the dynamic is and the energy with the individual musician.
Gotcha. That's really good insight there. So Michael, would you like to elaborate? And this question can apply to all you guys too, which is like basically, well, it's the same question, but who didn't we hear from? Because I can't see everybody. Okay. Now I can.
Let's hear from Woody. He's been quiet for a while.
Yeah. What's up, Matt Woods?
What's up, Matt Woods? What's going on in the corner there, bud?
Just chilling, listening to stories here,
Yeah.
He's making s'mores. Leave him alone, dude.
You're in Michigan.
I am. I'm in Detroit right now. The weather's actually
Detroit.
nice.
How is it in Michigan? On a side note, with all the rioting and things going on, is it safe to go out at night?
Yeah,
that's a real
like
question.
The Crow.
That's a real question. I have some friends that I haven't spoken to in a while.
Oh, I thought you were just giving him
Michigan's
shit.
not so bad. Right. Detroit gets a bad rep, but it's calm here.
The whole area of that, there's a lot of rioting in every major city. I don't live in a major city.
Yeah, honestly, we've had like the protesting that's been here have been very tame. A couple nights, like cops even marched with everyone, stuff like that. Like I think there's only been like 2 real major incidents of like people protesting after curfew, like the first night, and like the cops like throwing tear gas and rubber bullets and stuff. And then a few weeks ago, like one of the last protests they did, like there was some kind of incident, like cops like they didn't run someone over, but like they hit them with their SUV, stuff like that. Like, but I mean,
it's gonna happen.
It's been calm.
Cool.
The news hypes things up to the point where you think there's more going on than actually is.
It's definitely not like what's been happening like Pacific Northwest or anything like that. Yeah.
Which we have 2 individuals in the Northwest. How's that going?
Well,
not bad where I live
in Seattle, so it's been pretty chill. There's been like 2 people on each corner.
Honestly,
I mean, it's
pretty ridiculous. There's nothing. It's like everything's the same except for fucking people wearing masks all the time.
But anyway, so back to the fun things. So what are some of the things you guys have kind of, like Brian Moran did his honey-do list, and I'm sure his wife is writing another 500 pages, but but what are like some of the things you guys have found that have been kind of fun that you couldn't do because you weren't home, or couldn't do because touring is a busy business because you're advancing shows or whatever? Like, what have you? Anyone can speak up on.
I know for me, like I'm like Brian. I'm also catching up on the honey-do list. I got 10 years worth of fucking honey-do list to come back up on, and I'm like piece by piece, little by little, making my way up the honey-do list, and it's working out great. And I feel good about it, and it puts me in a more positive outlook and positive attitude because I'm finally getting this shit done. You know, it's like I've been in this house 20 years, but I've only done 10 years worth of projects. So I kind of owe her that.
Right. And yeah, man, that's that. You guys have some really awesome gals to be with you.
I wouldn't be with me. That's on her. Man. Fuck that.
So let's maybe
answer that question the same.
Yeah, I mean, let's touch on that. I mean, how important is kind of the balance between home life and tour life? Like, how do you guys do it?
I thought I found the perfect balance before COVID hit, and then now I've been like home with my kids, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go back. Like, it's like
awesome, man. That's a good.
It's insane, dude. Like, my 1-year-old. I got a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. It's perfect age to be home.
Yep.
I'm watching my 1-year-old be able to like respond to me and like all the things that I can pick her up and comfort her and like just be home. Being home is like it's like something I haven't been able to do in the better part of a decade to process anything. It's like I've always had to pay bills or buying. I mean, I was docu-signing my house documents when I was on tour in Europe doing a FaceTime video with my wife buying our house. So like I mean, like to be home for this and like just kind of resetting and realigning life values and like what's important to you is like beyond awesome, but at the same time it comes at an expense of our whole industry and I've lost even with unemployment and whatever else, I'm sure we've all lost a lot of money this year. So I'm just trying to, you just got to keep it day by day and try to keep positive and believe someone's going to come back. And if it doesn't, we'll all have other jobs. So.
Did any other bands in the bands you guys work with reach out to you for like 21 to 22? What's going on in the, anything?
Oh yeah.
Or will they tell you?
I guess through Lamb of God that they've got tours that's coming up and they've already got shit that's on the books prospectively, like everybody else. And, we're just, like they said earlier, it's like it's going to happen or it's not. We're just going to go day to day and see how it plays out. And, but yeah, there's a lot of bands out there that are going ahead and projectively doing shit down the road and trying to go ahead and get a date set. And then if that fucks up, they'll push back a little more.
Right.
Now, anything beyond 2022, dude, I may be a Domino's delivery driver. Fuck a bunch of that. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. You are a drummer.
I think we're all
Yeah.
That's
I definitely hope that's not the case.
No, me either. I hope not either.
Order a pizza from you anytime, P. King.
Goddamn right. You know what? I'm going to have a shot to that.
Every pizza comes with a shot of Jack Daniels.
God damn it. Better.
Johnny,
it's Friday, fucker.
Oh, he's Blaha's fucking drinking too. Okay, gotcha. That's some whiskey right there, right? And you got some white.
Yeah, I was working all day. So
Different flavor.
like, this is my downtime.
There you go. Attaboy.
There is no downtime with a 1-year-old.
Yeah,
It is not with you.
Thanks, G-Ma. Thanks, G-Ma.
I'll let the Epstein joke go on that one. Oh,
too soon.
Yeah.
Wow, it got quiet. Oh shit. Sorry about that. Dear Lord, I apologize.
Dear Lord, I apologize.
So yeah, my question is so try to answer it in a streamline the answer, okay? Because we only have so much time, and that'd be awesome. Okay, we'll start with let's start.
Go, Marcus.
Okay, let's go, Marcus. How did you get into your background's very interesting as well when you're telling your story, and I'm like thinking of these questions. Can we start on? Can you just tell us how you got into touring, like getting into this industry?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I always took my toys apart and put them back together.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized when I was young that I was not a great guitar player, but I love guitars. And there was a lot of guys that were way better than playing than I was. So I have a good set of ears and I can dial in gear. I can get any sound you need, whatever. I was lucky enough to find out that I'm probably going to do better off being a behind the scenes guy than I am trying to be on stage. I don't want to be 50 years old and trying to squeeze into spandex and shit, So I don't think that's a good look on anyone. But Panther pulls it off. Steel Panther pulls it off. Steel Panther can totally pull it off. They're badass dudes, and I love them. Hopefully, I'll get back to work with them soon too. But I just realized my niche is probably going to be working on guitars and being behind the scenes. And when I lost everything, the economy tanked in 2008. Artist relations guys, marketing guys, sales guys, we were all out of gigs. Mm-hmm. So I had friends who were touring. They needed a tech. I jumped out. And luckily enough, I'd done it before. And I've been doing music my whole life. So just kind of it was a natural progression for me to just jump out from behind, say, the desk and the computer screen, handling, selling ESP guitars all over the world, to just jumping out to a band and being the guy that's going to hand off a guitar or bass and set up the gear.
That's a way to, it's a good way to adjust, dude. Like, I mean, it's like, here's the things that are in front of me. Here's what I've done. Here's what I can do. Let me just ask you this. As a little kid, which one of your friends told you to like, just fucking stay in the background and just stop trying?
Actually, I had when I was in college, I had a singer that was like, dude, you're an awesome guitar player, but you're not as awesome as that guy. I'm like, okay, you're right. He's super badass. And he goes, you're cool and you write good stuff, but he's way better technically than you'll ever be. And I'm like, that's cool. And he goes, can you set up my guitar? And I'm like, yeah, I can, fucker. Fine. So I did.
And by the way, can you set up my guitar?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just that insult.
Wow.
No, it was a good thing because in retrospect, I make a lot more money doing this than he ever will. And he's still working at fast food joints. So, karma.
Room shredder.
Want fries with that?
Yeah.
Somebody told me that when I was a kid.
Love that fries, that arpeggiated ninth.
Custom scallop by all the buses fucking rocking all over the place. No, like seriously, as I had the same thing happen to me when I was little, an older drummer, and I was a gullible kid, and the guy's like, he was like one of the best drummers. He's like, yeah, man, just don't even bother playing. I'm like, I quit.
Wow.
Before I started playing again. But like I started playing because I happened to be good at it, and I had other friends that were like, dude, you should play drums. Why are you playing another instrument? I'm like, because Rob Bain said I sucked. They're like, fuck him. And then I just
fuck him.
Well, let me tell you this. If I took the advice that he gave me, I should have fucking, I would have been making more money sooner, because I am a musician. I'm an original songwriter, and fucking, I haven't made fucking shit. I've made dick doing my own music, but I love doing it, and I'll continue to do it. But like that, that's excellent. So thank you for answering that. And Mikey, call it up. Call who.
Oh, dude, let's go with who are we gonna talk to next?
What about
James? From Peking, we have a shot. You know what? Let's go with Weston.
Wait, Weston. Let's ask James though. Weston just spoke, and Weston, you're awesome too. We get James.
Right. Well, let's do James. James, yeah, definitely, because James stepped away.
Yeah, how did you?
Yeah, sorry. So what was the content of the question we were at? Sorry, I had to go kick some asshole out of my bar.
No, good job, brother. Good job.
Everything all right?
Nice.
Did you bring your horse whip?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Did the chainmail come out for that one? Did the chainmail and the sword come out?
No, they're not ready for all that.
Or did you show a picture of Sean's hand? Like,
Yeah. It's a precursor,
fuck
assholes.
this.
Yeah.
I got a good story for you after this podcast.
Easy, Wes.
So what brought you to actually touring?
So when I was, I've been a musician, since my teenage years, and played in bands for quite a while. And then in my late 20s, I really got a strong interest in getting into the production side of things. I really wanted to get more involved with how albums were being made and recordings. So I left work that I was doing, which was the bar industry, and voila, here we are. But full circle. But
I hear you.
Yeah, I went to audio school. Took a couple years doing mixing and mastering and whatnot. Then right out of school, I got a job at House of Blues in Houston. So I started doing live audio there. Did that for a couple of years. And then Weston Blaha shows his beautiful, beautiful face on my venue one day. And he's like, you know what, James, you're an all right son of a bitch. I'm going to take you on the road one day. And sure enough, man, he made good on his word. About a year later, he emails me. And he's like, hey, would you like to put on chainmail and sword fight on stage for Amarth.
You want to play tummy sticks on?
One of the weirdest questions I've ever had to ask anybody for hiring contest.
It was funny because I sent him 2 emails, one directly, the other after another, and the first email was like, "Fuck yes," and then I was like, "Damn, I should have been more professional about that." You know, he's offering me a job. I was like,
"That's all you need to hear."
I should have been more professional with the sword fighting job.
Weston, dearest Weston, I'm delighted by your job.
Dearest Weston.
So I choose to accept the the proposal of the job. So so I started doing that with Amon Amarth as their stage fighting Viking, and then that transferred over into being their stage manager. After I was also the set carp and I guess
hydraulic tech.
Hydraulic.
That came later, yeah. But also, I'd done years of audio, so as you all guys know, you get one tour in, and then they just, if you do a good job, or you're not a cunt, you can work in this industry forever.
Mike, don't be a cunt.
Right. Yeah. So then I started doing audio for some tours. I went out and I did a tour with Entombed AD. I was still working with Amon Amarth throughout these years, Then I started doing tour managing in front of house for.
Oh shit!
Oh hey!
Oh shit!
Whoa! How you doing?
Come on in.
It's a COVID party now.
Yeah, come on in.
Where the hell did you go, man? Wait! I lost the camera. Hang on.
I told you to wait 10 minutes.
Imagine it was a tranny.
Well, he said to wear a mask, but not only a mask.
I love it.
Hey, you got to make money somehow. Fuck it.
Oh my!
Do strippers have to wear masks?
That's amazing.
Apparently not.
Not on their face.
Where do you work?
On the road
James. Where are you working?
It's a place called Tight Ends Sports Bar.
Obviously.
So it's a restaurant.
Oh shit!
Restaurant?
It's not a Catholic church.
It's a
Restaurant?
It's a
Restaurant. That's phenomenal.
Or they just wear masks.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at.
Fuck, man, I'm in the wrong business.
Yeah. So then I started doing tour managing in front of house for a couple different bands. I was out with Butcher Babies for a while. Then I would go back with Amon, and then I recently also worked for TM in front of house for of Mice and Men. Like I said, I've worked through Amon Amarth since the beginning.
More elaborate
career. So
yeah, that's a fucking long list, laundry list there. But I mean, one leads to the other, right? So
for sure.
Let's bounce to Neil. Kind of ask you. Obviously, you're a photographer. You probably had a passion for that at a younger age. And then, how did you transition from whatever you were taking pictures of before then, or was it just always music and?
It's been different for me because, again, unlike everyone else, I come from a different end of stuff. So I've been doing visual effects for a long time. And so when bands used to come through town, fortunately, I knew a lot of people. So I would pick people up, show them something that they would never normally get to see. Mm-hmm. And it's a very different symbiotic relationship because I work on movies and TV all day long listening to music so I don't kill everyone. And you guys watch the movies I work on to get away from your normal day. So it was something kind of cool. And I met a band from Sweden in 2002 that I've been friends with ever since. And they asked me to come out on tour with them way back then. And I was like, oh, this is cool. So I started taking photos of that and trying to do things because I come from the art side. So I could translate it into a visual thing.
Makes sense.
And then we did Ozfest in 2005, and it just snowballed from there. I just really learned a lot more. I was out doing things, and through the In Flames guys, I've met so many people. I did met Trivium on that tour when they were just kids, 2005 on Ozfest. All kinds of bands, and I was just shooting a lot of things, and just been around a lot of people, also a lot of crews. So it's a lot better. Like, it's not just a band, it's a crews that do everything. So I love documenting what you do for your day and what's going on. So people have had me out, and it's been different because I do respect everyone's job and try not to get in anyone's way. So they, like, a lot of people know when I'm coming out, I'm not going to be a fanboy. I'm there to work.
See, fanboy. Let's stop right there for a second. Let's kind of tap into that, guys. So for me, it's like my first experience talking to people at the level on behind that's doing the behind the scenes at this level, right? So, so basically, as an outside, somebody coming in, Neil, you come into this situation. The bands, is it very, very serious where it's like, don't fucking step on people's toes? And it's like, don't get in my fucking way. Like I've been backstage.
Tell us not to get in Neil's way.
Well, it's also that trust. It's also that. What's that?
You look like a fucking, like you would have an axe in your hand, like an axe.
No, it's always that interesting thing, you know, when you're in different environments. Like, you know, it's always about the trust too. It's just like, I'm there. It's like I kind of know when I can take a photo, when I should be gone, when I shouldn't be doing. So it's like I don't really. A lot of people I've worked with or whatever, like I have things that I shouldn't have, but they know it's not going anywhere. You know, or I'm not going to be an idiot and posting things.
You have it in a state somewhere where you're going to blackmail with it?
No, it's gone. I erased it. I don't have it anymore. But you know, just like it's just about respect of the band and the crew and the audience, and it's very different for me what I get to do. So
sure,
pretty cool.
It is cool because like you get to capture what's going on, but to the extent of like you don't want to there's like a line where you don't want to, you know, go over that line. You don't want to step over the line. You want to capture what's going on, and you're out for the betterment of the show. But I'm picturing you, and then I'm picturing everybody else who's doing the, you know, behind the scenes work here and getting ready and shit, and you're fucking like wanting to capture shit and just people, you know, that's got to be an experience. Like, that's why you guys are here to explain that, and it's very interesting to me. To learn about. So thank you for answering that. Shaw, you want to answer next? You want to go and tell us your little introduction into getting into this industry?
Oh, God.
Oh.
It was just after the Last Supper.
It started with a little band called Rock Candy.
No,
that's the one.
Or was it multiple shorts?
It didn't even. Yeah, right. It started before that. Music family, played music, played guitar and drums and piano and many bands. And of course, as Mike mentioned, I was in a band called Rock Candy, had a couple albums out, but was always hanging with the crew and more interested really after a while than the technical aspect of it than the playing. I enjoyed playing. I just it didn't bother me either way to play in front of a crowd. I just like to play. Voila. It just everything kind of just grew from there.
So who's the first band that you actually went out on the road with that you were, you know, was a big deal to you that kind of was changed your life into this?
The first one that changed my life? God, that's a tough question.
Oh boy.
Break
it down.
Yeah, there's been a few, you know, there's been a few of them. It's
just, you know, whatever comes to the top of your head, it's all good.
I have a shiny 20 here. Why don't you tell me what you know?
Like coming off as a fan.
Oh, shit.
I love all my kids exactly the same.
I love all my. That's how can you ask that question about your favorite child?
Brian.
Really, Greg?
Yeah, that is like that.
Fucking single 37-year-old guy over here. What the fuck? No.
I'm gonna say just about every tour I've done, I liked for a lot for different reasons, and learned a lot.
Let me pose this question better, okay? Who got you into the actual doing this for a living? Like, what was that first experience that broke you into this?
Oh God, well, that would be doing working at doing local sound and lights, and obviously being a provider for international, national and international artists. And like everybody else's story, somebody would come along and say, "Hey, so and so is leaving in a week. Can you cover for monitors for the rest of the tour?" Okay, then you go out and do that. Hey, you're also good at that. Can you do this and that? Okay. And it's like it's like the shampoo commercial. None of this.
Drive the bus too.
Right.
I got a story about that.
Which I have.
Which he has.
Which I have.
Yeah.
So.
Which ended up me doing front of house for Marcys Playground on the last night of this like Christmas run we did.
Oh, my back froze.
Yeah, his back went out, and we ended it like I was literally coming out of the bunk room, and he's pouring coffee, and he goes whoop, and I caught him just like this, like this.
Your back
and freaking, I was like, "You okay?" You're like, "I'm fucking in pain." And he's like shaking. I'm like, this is bad. So we laid him down. He was fine for a minute. And like literally we pulled into Cleveland. It was like, thank God our hotel was like across the street from the Cleveland Clinic. Like, wow. Yeah. No, he's driven a bus, definitely. Yeah. He's like, I'm just going to learn this.
Driving a bus takes a fucking tear on your fucking shoulders and shit. I know like my friend who's a bus driver for 40 Below Summer. And he can't even drive anymore. His fucking shoulders are fucking toast. I'm like,
oh, geez.
That's true.
Yeah, and I just did it for a few hours on that particular incident. That was just, our driver was toast at that point. And I'm like, you know, we were running hot and heavy, doing a lot of shows. I'm like, look, man, I'll give you a break. I'll drive.
Did you have a license at that time, or was it just like
for driving a bus?
No.
No.
I'm like, this is going to be interesting. So I sat in the jump seat for a little while. I was like, oh, is this going to go?
You're a brave man. You sat in the jump seat.
Yeah.
Just like a VW bus.
Just like a VW microbus.
I don't see the difference.
8 people trying to sleep.
With a gas pedal and a brake pedal. And a steering wheel.
Forward.
Man.
Let's bounce to Matt Woods. You did not go into this question. How did you get into
how did you get into it, Matty?
I started working at a venue in 2000 called St. Andrews Hall.
Oh.
And
famous.
Doing like security and then bartending, stuff like that. But I'd always bug the sound guys. Like, I'm like, hey, like, you know, how do you do this? Like, what, you know, why are you doing that right there? You know, stuff like that. And finally one was like, well, I'll tell you what, you know, we'll get you started. And I was like, okay, great. And one of the guys that taught me is actually my current roommate now. He does sound for Cheap Trick. So, I mean, like, I learned from, like, industry professional people who just happen to also be local sound guys where I lived in Detroit. So
I'm seeing that's a common thread here with a lot of you guys. It's like you start and then you
I literally fell into it. I'd always had interest in it. Like, my stepdad, before he was a part of my life, used to tour with bands. And sadly, I didn't get to like really like talk to him too much about that. But yeah, like it was something I always had interested in and never really thought it'd be an option. And then I literally happened to fall into it and just never looked back. It's, you know, it's always been a part of my life now. So
right.
Mostly front of house sound. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I do front of house. I do monitors. I work for a couple sound companies like in town, like Thunder Audio, stuff like that. Like, you know, whatever's really necessary. You know, I've been a patch guy in festivals. I've been a monitor guy. I've been a front of house guy. You know,
right.
You guys are all like basically independent contractors, right?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask about taxes, but
I got a good one. Thanks to
What are those?
I'm sure we've all talked to me about this at some point.
If not now, we're going to.
If not now, we're going to.
That's right.
You guys agreed to do this? Is that why you agreed to this?
No.
Nah,
We get a tax break on this interview is what's going on.
This is a tax deductible podcast.
What's good about being an independent contractor is you can write off a good amount of stuff. I don't know what constitutes.
Could 4 years ago.
Yeah.
The things changed.
Right. That's hard to do. Like you can't do that as a, you know, if you're going on tour. Like what
it used to be, you could write off your detergent for your clothes.
Yeah, they changed a lot.
They changed a lot of
Right.
stuff.
That's correct. They have.
Yeah, but like
I don't even think you can write off clothes anymore. Like if they're for work.
Nope.
I'm going to be honest. My girlfriend's a CPA, so I let ever since she came into my life, it's been fantastic. And I'm an independent contractor too, but I do sales, so it's like it's different. I'm not on the road. I'm not under the expenses of them. I don't know what what's what for that. That's why I'm curious to see. But
also too, it's like, and some of you talked to me about this as well. Is a lot of companies now are putting guys under W-2s.
Is that what
the benefit of that is when they do PPP loans that they get, and things of that nature, there's certain benefits to that. The other problem with that is that you don't get those write-offs anymore, and you're taxed based upon what the yearly income would be week in and week out of what you made on that tour. So the thing is, when you file at the end of the year, yes, you'll get a tax return, but the thing is you don't have that money up front at that point, and it just makes it interesting at times.
It is interesting just to wrap my head around how that
saved my ass.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not giving advice on the show.
Oh yeah, you got to disclaim that, of course.
Yeah, disclaim that.
We're just talking.
This is just a conversation.
All I can say is if I get a bill in the mail, I'm not paying it.
Yeah.
This whole thing's a tax write-off for you, Mike.
Yeah.
We just talked about work.
Exactly.
So Brian answered. Brian, did you answer this question too? How did you?
No, but I could tell you pretty briefly. I was in a band and it was a kid band, so we were going from venue to venue. We didn't have our own sound people, and I couldn't wrap my head around how sometimes I would get to places and the monitors would sound great, sometimes they would sound horrible, and I didn't know how to explain to the house guy what I wanted, and it was frustrating me. So I started just reading books and doing whatever kind of research I can. Hooked up with a local sound company around my area, who one of the owners of the company is one of the most brilliant sound engineers I've ever met. Shout out to Billy Kosuth at Rock Street Music there. So he kind of took me under his wing for a few years and taught me the right way to do things instead of just fumbling my way through reading a book and trying to figure it out and screwing it up. And then, from there it just snowballed and here we are today.
Very cool. Fucking shit, dude.
It was built out of frustration mostly.
Yeah, there's a problem. You want to solve it, not Vanilla Ice, but like actually.
Necessity is the mother of invention, Brian.
Correct.
There's a common thread here, in listening to everything, with everybody here, on everything, including how they're handling everything. It's overcoming and adapting and moving forward.
Absolutely.
I think that spills into everybody's situation. I don't do what you guys do, and I respect it, greatly. And I'm adapting too. Like I'm not any better off than anybody else, and I'm just, wishing you guys the best because obviously, I like playing shows myself. I had a whole fucking thing for the year. For the first time ever, I planned 8 months in advance of shows for myself, and like I was pumped up. We came out with an EP. Now it's like, now we got to switch to fucking doing internet shows and like actually start thinking of other ways to subsidize a live show. And the car thing is like really weird to me. I think it's cool. But I think it's a little fucking weird because it's like you go to the movies and you could do that on the drive-thru, but like when you see a band and shit, like you lose all the fucking organic fucking chemistry between the band and the.
Almost just like throw a PA up and roll your windows down.
Yeah, you know what I was gonna say? That would be an awesome mosh pit if they had a mosh pit, like a monster truck mosh pit, like that's
like a derby,
derby, demolition derby,
monster derby.
Didn't we play one of those with Buck Cherry a few years ago? Sean? I think we did that one, didn't we?
We probably played a fucking rodeo bar mitzvah for all I know. We probably did.
Yes, on a stage.
Rodeo bar mitzvah. Fuck you.
Yeah, we got to put together Knotfest meets Monster Jam.
Yes. Oh my God.
After seeing Corey's most recent video, it probably could be possible, getting the wrestling belt and shit.
There you go.
Oh my God. Oh, P King, we got to kind of go into we got to go into you. I know you've been on the show before, so you can you could streamline answer.
I'll give you a Cliff Notes version of my shit.
Right.
What happened was I was 2008. I was working for a subprime lender in the auto finance industry. That shit was the first thing to go right before the housing market crashed. I ended up working with a buddy of mine who was a comedian who was an old friend of Diamond Vince. Of course, by then Diamond had already passed, but Vince would still come out to our shows and shit. So we would add shit to it. I was playing guitar in his shows, doing song parodies. Then we started adding lights and sound effects and all that shit. And then Vince was coming to the shows and he's like, man, I don't really like what you guys are doing. did the show for him and his friends after a Super Bowl party one night at his house. He's like, I'm going to get you guys a fucking room in Vegas. Go out to Vegas, do the show for 5 months at this place just off the strip. And then another 3 months at the Hard Rock at Wasted Space. And then, like, when that came to an end, I asked him, I was like, hey, man, you guys need somebody on the road? Let me know. And he was like, oh, you got a little rock and roll in you. I was like, yeah, man, let's do this. 2 months later, he calls me up and they said, Chad, our singer, needed an assistant. So I was like, cool. Went and did that for about 1.5 years. And then Kat, his longtime tech from Pantera days, got let go while we were in Europe. And he calls me up. He's like, you up for a challenge? And I was like, fuck yeah, you training me? Like cocky, like dumbass. You know? Yeah, I was like, you training me. So I go to his house. He's got a kit set up. So he goes like, we talk in the kitchen, go back and forth between the kit and the kitchen. Every time I'm in the kitchen, we're doing shots.
Yeah. Getting
hammered. Finally, I'm wasted and I get the kit right. And he goes, you got 3 days, we're going to Vegas. Or excuse me, not Vegas, Australia.
Oh.
I've been drinking, officer. So
I'm wearing my
yeah. Oh, is it shot time? So we make it back over to Australia, do the gig, and he's tripping out. And he tripped out because I got the tuning on his kid right because I'd recorded it on my phone in Texas. Oh. And he just kept me ever since then and gave me the shot to keep going. And it just got better and better from there on out. Wow. Cliff notes.
That was actually fucking awesome.
You know.
Great.
Oh, I missed the one part that I thought was very important. Excuse me, guys.
Yes. Gentlemen, that's Jack. That's tea.
There you go.
Who puts tea
Sorry
in
about
Jack
that.
Daniels, man?
Pussies do.
Straight mixers.
Like everybody admit it right now, right off the bat. Has anybody like completely gone off the wagon and like or like down the fucking shitty road of debauchery?
Yeah, but I found the wagon. It's good. I'm good.
Oh, hold on a second. There's a funny story about this, James.
Oh.
You need to tell that story.
Yeah. You know what? I fucking figured this was going to come out on this fucking show. So a couple days ago, I have a dream, and Mr. Stephen Shaw is in it.
Oh shit!
And it was really weird. Yeah. So
tell me more.
I know.
You heard this yet?
I know listening to the previous podcast episode that you guys had, he was telling me, or he was saying that he was delivering smiles and, that he had been hooked up with Amazon. Mm-hmm. So I had this dream where Mr. Shaw delivered a package to me at work. And I was like, dude, why are you delivering to me in Texas? And he's like, oh, I moved here. And I was like, why? He's like, oh, I fell off the wagon at home, so I had to move out. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because I barely even skimmed talking with Mr. Shaw about that while we were out on tour. He's told me like maybe a couple of stories here and there, and he's just, yeah, man, I hadn't touched the sauce in, however long he told me, but. Hey, it was just a weird dream that he's just like, yeah, I fell off the wagon. Yeah, so I'm here in Texas.
Yeah, but I was delivering smiles, right?
You're going to get a 5-star Yelp review, buddy. So
that begs the question, what would Stephen Shaw do?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Apparently, he would move to Texas and deliver you packages. Is apparently what he would do.
Hey, you know what? If there's a man to do it, it's Shaw.
Absolutely.
He's the man for the job.
Well, I gotta be honest, and not to be too weird about it, but it's even honestly, like even through Matt and Neil, like I would never have met every one of you. Unless it was for Steve, for some reason, either hanging out on the road or whatever. So it's interesting he's in the center of the Brady Bunch squares in front of me right now.
I was trying to ruin his life. It was a success.
Well done, Steve. Well done.
Well, we can tell you a story. I can tell you a story of how Mike tried to get me to drop out of high school, but I didn't. I swear to God, this is like he didn't. I don't
Okay, well, hold on a second. In my defense at the time,
Good thing you're a financial advisor, not a college advisor.
No, this is when I was.
You're right.
Life coach.
Life-
I already.
I'm 37.
Fuck.
What had happened is Greg's family had basically kicked him out. And so there were some gigs that had come up that they needed a drummer. And he's like, I'm going to finish high school. And that was the wise thing to do. I said, all right, cool. That was it.
You're like, no, you're gonna play drums for the Mines, or you're gonna fucking graduate high school. You get mad at me if I say
How drunk was I? Because I had to have been.
this is like 3 weeks right before I'm graduating. So I'm like, dude, I have to. Just, you know.
Great advice, Mike.
It's Warped Tour, man. Come on.
No, I wasn't
Can't
going.
wait.
Well, I already got it. Well, I wasn't going. I knew that. I was like, I at least got to graduate high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, guidance counselor. No,
Definitely not. No. No, we'll leave it at that one.
You can just scratch that one right off the list.
Sounds like you missed your true calling, Mike.
Put me in the summer, though. I got to tell you.
What, being the host of Jerry Springer? Yes.
I was
Taking her shirt off first.
Yeah.
Well, also in Greg's defense, though, he was living in his practice place 3 weeks before he was to graduate high school.
Wow.
He's like, it wasn't even barely going to school. Like some reason, like you had pretty much finished. Like you only had to walk at that point.
Yeah, but I had like 72 absences the year before, so I had to be. Like, no, because they bumped me up a grade because I was in a marching band. Yeah, I was drum captain for years. So, but like at the same time,
band camp.
Band camp was
That's
great,
awesome.
dude. I got to tell you something about band camp. Those girls, especially color guard. Just saying. Anyway,
Especially the fly.
Yes.
Flag girl.
Flautist.
so they're like, you were always dedicated. We're gonna bump you up a grade. And then my fucking principal guys, right? I was supposed to make up for 2 classes that I missed. Check this out. This is funny. He literally, I was supposed to go get tutored by him and like finish those credits because I didn't get them the year before. So he ended up getting arrested because he was into kiddie porn. So we had no idea. And then I didn't have to take those classes, but I at least had to show up. So I showed up.
Wow.
Wow. It's a touching story.
Awkward.
For the principal.
Yeah.
I thought he was a little weird. Anyway,
Amazing.
so, well, where are we at right now? No, absolutely.
Yeah. We're gone now.
Fuck, we
Right. Where's this show going?
off the wagon.
I believe the jokes have run out.
This episode's
Couple of beers deep, everybody is, eh?
Nobody's worked.
Let me ask this really simple question for each of you, and you can answer it very quickly, and it's awesome. What's your most memorable experience doing what you've been doing for all the time?
Or cherished.
Cherish. Let's start with
Yeah, or
Marcus.
I have to pick one.
You could. See, there's a lot.
Wow.
Oh, favorite child question.
Yeah, that's
God, it's tough because, I've gotten to tour the world with half you guys on screen here and do what I love doing, work on guitars, make a show happen. I get to see the last song of the night when everybody, you see 20,000 people putting their lighters and cell phones in the air. It's pretty awesome. I can't really narrow it down to just one thing. So I've gotten to travel the world and see a lot of great sights, meet a lot of cool people, and put on rock shows for people. There's really no one thing that's my favorite. I'd have to say it's there's probably an encyclopedia's worth of favorites in the past probably 15 years of doing this.
Mike, I told you not to let me write that fucking question, okay? Because now everybody's going to say the same thing. And
Yeah, same thing here.
right? Yep. Okay. All
I
right.
have a definite one, so it's different. So.
Why don't you tell
All
me?
right, Neil.
Front of house
Go.
engineers, I could probably speak up a little bit here and say a line check every day is my favorite.
Right.
I mean, like pulling that kick in the PA and like snare and everything after you dialed the rig in and like just hearing that crack and feeling that punch and like just making sure that you're delivering the goods, like that's the best part of my day every day. Like,
I love it.
Absolutely.
See that picture of Vince right behind P-King over there? That's fucking badass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, my favorite my favorite memory was every smile that motherfucker ever gave me. Coming off the riser, having a good show, seeing him up there having a good time. Those are my favorite memories. And Wes's line checks.
And this paddle ball and my dog shit.
Yeah, that's all I need.
And this lamp.
We had a time on a day off once that was pretty cool. We were doing a show in Tel Aviv and had a day off and got to ride over to Jerusalem and walk through and see where some of the, whether you're religious or not, just seeing the places where some of these old stories happen was absolutely incredible. Got to float in the Dead Sea for an hour. That day, that's something that not a lot of people get to do, and it was super cool.
That's cool.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
Sweet.
Right on.
Michael?
Besides the obvious, I was always a fan of the music. When I was a kid in South Germany, it was a small world, end of the 80s, no internet, no phones, blah, blah, blah. You buy records when it's the next Kiss record coming out. Working for all these bands, all my heroes, Dio, Kiss, Maiden, Priest, then meeting Shaw at some point, Steve, and working for Buck Cherry, and then that was the in to work for one of my favorite bands, Kiss, right? So that was pretty cool stuff. And
I was actually on the Kiss tour.
Exactly. Yeah. And so those are cool moments. But I met my wife, and we have 2 children, actually on the road. She was working for lots of bands, Sheryl Crow and many others, and Stones, and
Nice.
And so we met. She got a fill-in gig as a tour manager assistant on the Deep Purple tour.
Wow.
Back in 2004 or 3, and so we met in Canada, and we got to travel the world together and fall in love. And I was sneaking out to the band hotel, hitting on her and trying to, get her into my hotel room and whatnot. And
is that against policy? Was that against policy? Or?
Kind of. I mean, one time I was in the elevator and Ian Pace comes down and I pressed the button, and the runner, and it was in the middle of Russia where nobody speaks English. Right. And the local promoter chick said, I'm going to get you a taxi in the middle of, not St. Petersburg or Moscow. It was like deep into Russia. We had like a 2 weeks tour in Russia. And then it was a lot of cool stuff that happened at the time. And then I moved from Germany to America, and a lot of doors opened at the time. And, basically realizing that the longevity of staying in that business, how many doors opened over the years, how many people, I'm sitting here right now in LA. I would have never thought back in the late 80s that I would ever live in America, right? For instance, and working for all these, just the journey itself. And now I have 2 kids, and, it was just a lot of cool positive stuff, right?
Sounds exciting.
That's the best answer yet. The journey. That's the answer right there.
That is the journey. And it's just fucking awesome because I think each one of you from the experience, so there's this one commonality here that it's the feeling of fulfilling the show's purpose, being justified. Everybody just fucking did that and was part of that experience. I don't think, if the people out there that are listening are other musicians a lot of times, but this show's more of absolutely targeted to an audiences that you guys have helped put together the shows that performed in front of those audiences. So we're going to be targeting those people. And I hope that they get this resonates with them on the fact of the special feeling that you guys that is just, you can't really explain it through words. You could feel it. I get chills when I think about it because it's like a bigger than you thing, and you're part of the thing, the world going on while people are fucking going to work at 8 a.m. You're waking up and the band's still sleeping, and you're fucking setting everything up and dialing it in, and it's just fucking really cool, dude. So
you guys get to sleep until 8?
I don't know what the fuck. The headline.
Guitar techs do, definitely.
Yeah, we're chalking the floor at 6:30.
That's also unique because all of these guys are actually putting the show together. Yeah. From my perspective, I'm capturing them and the show. So it's you see the people's faces, you see the bands enjoying themselves, and that's kind of what I was saying with the experience. For me, what's amazing is capturing that. Mm-hmm. For the first tour I ever did was with In Flames, Soulfly, and Slayer. And last year, I shot the last ever photos of Slayer on stage. So that is a big honor circle of of an amazing journey as well.
Come to
So
fruition.
it's been pretty cool. Yeah.
So Neil, that's funny because I was working for a band. That's actually the band I started out with, a band called Destruction. I don't know if you know them guys from Germany.
Yeah, I know those guys. Yeah.
You know, speed metal, you know, Creator and all these other bands from them. And 85, they grew up in the same town, and I was there. Yeah, you want to come with us? We're going to open up for Slayer, their first ever European tour.
Jesus, wow.
Imagine. You come with us, you know, we'll just figure it out. You know, I didn't know how to tune a guitar or anything. I was just their roadie, and it was just terrible. I didn't have, but just the fun of it, right? Being there. But I think I was 16 or 17 or something.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right.
So cool.
You got to take that shit you got to take your job so seriously, because it's like if you fuck up, it's like it's so easy to probably get distracted, but you can't let anything else affect you. So there's all this shit going on. You see all the crazy fans and all the fucking the crap, you know, the fucking just the excitement going on, and you're like, you can at any minute go tap into that if you wanted to and have an experience outside of the experience that you have. But what makes it so special is bringing it back to what I just said before, is just keeping your focus on the fucking end game. And that's fucking great, dude. This is really cool. Like I feel like a fanboy, really.
But you know what's also interesting is how we all defined ourselves with our laminates, right? I mean, for the longest time, it was like, I work for this band, and I know this guy and that guy, and everybody's very important, you know. And now it's done, right? It's came to a full standstill. How do people define themselves now? What are they doing now? What's the next thing? You know, how can I be?
Michael,
how can I feel important? You know what I mean? It's like,
great point, dude.
Where's the
I actually carry a
catering?
little container. Dude, I carry a little container of hand sanitizer on a carabiner on my hip.
Right.
So it makes me feel like I'm still working.
Like the first September after high school graduation.
Yeah, there it is.
Huh? What?
That's pretty, Brian. That's actually pretty good.
There we go. James with his Sharpie is amazing.
I got my in-ears.
I wake up in the morning and there's no day sheet. I don't even know where I'm going.
All these chicks in bikinis I work with, they're like, why do you have a marker on your pants? I'm like, you wouldn't understand.
Right.
See, this is why I'm always asking every day, what would Shaw do?
Yeah. What would Shaw
without
do?
a tour manager. I need
that
you in
voice
my life, Shaw.
I used to carry a Sharpie on my laminate as well until I sat down on a Beat the Street bus and the cap came off.
All right.
Oh, I was on that tour. I remember.
I was on the leather for a while before I stood up and my shorts and the bus seat was ripped.
You're not the first person to do that.
No.
A lot of actually, it seems like the musicians do that more than anybody else. Band bus is usually colored back lounge, all the leather.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't trust musicians, man.
Right.
Hell, man, if that had been an absolute touring bus, you would have improved it.
If there's a flat surface and a Sharpie, there's going to be a penis.
Yeah.
Just don't fall asleep in the front lounge.
Don't fall asleep in the front lounge.
Yeah.
Now that begs a different question. Who all was in everybody's camp who always got the Sharpie in the face? For me, it was Brydog, so that was always happening. So, but who is it? Everybody else?
Dude, I was flipping through my phone and I think I have more pictures of Woody sleeping on a road case. Because I was trying to put a photo book together for my wife's birthday. And I was like,
it's all me.
My pictures. I'm like, God damn, I have a lot of pictures of Woody sleeping. Like,
that's
a true bromance right there. True
I like sleeping. Sleeping's great.
He looks so good sleeping.
I like sleeping.
Weston got Matt into this, so it's like, you know, Ed, the question I asked before for them is like he got into this, so that's
no, he got me into this actually.
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah, actually, Matthew Woods was he was on my. We were supporting Black Dahlia murder. I was with All Shall Perish. And this is our first club tour, and he taught me more about mixing in clubs and everything than anybody else has, and I kind of took that knowledge and ran with it. And paying homage to Matthew Woods right now for not letting me fuck up.
You would have gotten it from anyone else just as well.
But you were the guy. You were the guy, dude.
Well, I'm happy to help.
There's a bromance.
No, you know, you just gotta remember where your roots are, man. You know, you gotta like remember who gave
and then he far surpassed me since then. So,
oh shit, there's a dick measuring contest going on.
No,
I lose.
Get a room.
Minimaling contest.
Wait, what's with the fingers? That's weird. You're touching tips. What are you? What are you Stop it, Wes. Last time I do laundry with you.
Hey Matt, do you want to go play tummy sticks on stage with me for FohAmon Amarth?
perfect.
That's awesome.
Here.
That's right. Oh boy. So you guys come down. We are. Our parents.
Oh wait, we're not even done yet, man. We got like 3 hours more to go.
Okay, great.
Back, dude.
Wait till P. King starts on what happened day 2.
Oh yeah.
Shall we show the Peking home movies? Brian Moran.
That post. We could put that in.
Oh shit.
He's kind of sitting on a casting couch there with a Hawaiian shirt on.
Yeah. You're gonna sell some
So you're familiar with this couch? Okay.
What is that a picture of?
So I pay for $300 a day. Certain scenes.
Who is this guy? And why is he 8 years older than me? This is weird.
We were going to a family event. I wanted to make a Boston cream pie, and I forgot to put pie in the Google search, and that couch showed up.
No.
Oh shit!
There he is. There's Brian.
God damn it, Brian.
Welcome back.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
Forgot.
Now I feel like I'm back on tour again. This is great.
You know, one of your questions was, what would we be doing if all of us were on tour right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
This.
That's
I'll jump in and answer. I would be telling Shaw that I can't turn it down. He's got to talk to the guitar player.
Right.
That'd be one thing I'd be doing. The second thing I'd be doing is probably yelling at Brian for some asinine reason. I definitely would be asking Neil not to step on my cables, even though he would never be anywhere near my cables anyway, because he's too awesome. And the rest of you guys, I'm sure, would be probably doing similar stuff, I would imagine.
Hell yeah.
So the key answer for you guys, so you don't have to answer it anymore. Just kidding. Actually, that's a great question. So anybody else who wants to blurt it out and give themselves go ahead. Ready? Who's going to answer that? What would you be doing on tour if you all were together?
Oh, we'd probably be doing exactly what we're doing right now, but in
you're looking at it.
You got a show to do. Let's get going.
Let me pull up Master Tour and
Looking at
Is this before show or after show?
post show.
Post show. We're drinking, doing
Cocktails.
karaoke, and having a blast.
eating waffles.
What time's bus call again?
Yeah.
Depends on what time bus call is what the shenanigans happen.
okay. I mean, honestly, if it was after show and everybody was partying, for some reason I'd still be flipping cases in the truck. I think that's what I would be doing.
Yeah, that's a
Viking training.
response to that one question before. Is what, after the show goes down, is everybody in high spirits? And really, most of us are just in loadout mode. So the next 2 hours are let's get the show to the next venue, and then we relax a little bit. And by that time, the band's done.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you just packed up and you guys hang out by yourselves while they're fucking doing something else. You guys hang out with the band together at all? Is there usually?
We try to avoid that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, depends on the band too. I mean, some artists there's a lot of artist management that goes into being a tech as well, managing the personalities of the artists. So it depends on the band, depends on the artist, depends on who you're working for, whether you're going to hang out with them or not on days off or after the show.
Absolutely.
I will say one thing that's really nice about Trivium, like on days off, they'll always be like, hey, like everyone meet in the lobby at 7, like family dinner, stuff like that. And like, you know, they'd always like go out to dinner, invite the crew to come, stuff like that. Like it's
awesome.
It's really nice. Yeah.
It was on Judas Priest. There was on every day off, you could bank on the fact that the band, except Rob Halford, but everybody else would be at the bar at 7:30, and they made sure that the core crew is in the same hotel.
Yeah.
The band.
That's nice.
That was always okay. You go down there and where are we today in Norway? Maybe we fancy some fish. Do you want to come out? And then they pay for everything and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, like I said, there's other bands who don't have that. kind of environment at all.
And that
You are correct, sir.
not as
You are correct, sir.
Sorry, I don't know who does it, but I just reminded
WE and BC.
So that was the cool thing about like working with Vince is Vince would take every day off, and he would okay, whatever town we're going to, whatever that town is known for, we're gonna get the best place we can possibly find, and I'm buying everybody fucking dinner.
Nice.
So if it was a steakhouse or a lobster joint or whatever, he would make sure that he bought everybody dinner, wouldn't let anybody pay for shit, and just had a good time. And if that wasn't available in some whatever bumfuck town we were in, he would all right, I'm going to Walmart and buying $1,000 worth of fucking cookout shit. And we're going to have a fucking cookout in the hotel parking lot. And we would feed, he would feed fucking like people in the hotel, the security guy that rolled around in the golf cart. He fed everybody. Yeah. And that's the kind of that spirit of things that I want to kind of keep going. I want to keep that in mind, for everybody.
So when you're talking about Vince, you're talking about Vinnie Paul?
Vinnie Paul, yeah.
Paul. Yeah, we met him several times, obviously. We've been to the club, right, in Dallas.
Oh, the clubhouse. It all comes back to the
time. And,
always comes back to the clubhouse.
The Kiss guys respected him well,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was always
such a great dude.
He was like second row in. He was like in the second row, rocking out. And, Paul
one of his favorite memories ever was coming back on some plane from somewhere, and the Kiss guys were on the plane. And this is back when you still had Ace and Peter were still there, or had come back for the first We're Done tour. And they came up and sang Happy Birthday to him, all four of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And just to know that was his moment from being like a kid and loving Kiss to having them sing Happy Birthday to him on a jet, that still makes my heart happy, man. It's greatness.
So good.
Absolutely. No.
You can't buy it's those memories, dude.
Who brought the playback rig on the plane?
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Did Gene ask for money afterwards?
Oh no, he didn't.
You owe me some cash.
That being said, I got a whole different story about like Ace crashing their fucking golf cart on Vinny's driveway, and like what he said about Gene and Paul. That's a whole different story. Anyway, but anyway, continue.
Yeah.
You know that Gene Simmons patented the Happy Birthday song, right?
He patented air.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
he owns COVID for fuck's sake.
He wrote that.
He patented the money bag thing, and then Monopoly had to pay out royalties, and now the money bag's no longer in Monopoly.
Yeah.
Don't make it.
No.
Yeah.
I looked at my ball sack, and he patented that.
I never thought it was fair that Parker Brothers was the only company allowed to make Monopoly.
Well, I just hear dinner's ready. The kids want to see me.
All right.
I gotta leave the tour bus. You gotta throw me out.
You're getting boy bills to closing, says he. Well, I'm going to say this, guys.
One more beer.
Yeah. I should have patented that one.
I just want to say thanks to everybody on the show today, man. This has been an absolutely memorable experience for 2 hours, and just flew by, and
I can't believe it's been 2 hours, to be honest.
Oh, that means you're
Wow. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think
Thanks for that idea, Wes.
Every individual talk like 2 hours by themselves here.
Yeah.
Such a great cast here.
Yeah, and we're completely down with doing that. So if you guys are open to that, that's definitely going to.
We'll figure it out.
Well, you know what's interesting to me? I've seen several faces, but I never really worked. For instance, Neil, right? I mean, I've seen your face on some festivals in the farthest. Oh, there's that guy again.
Totally.
But I never really had any relationship with you. It's so funny.
It's pretty amazing.
The only guys, Stephen Shaw, we toured together, and then Michael Jackson. How did we meet again, Michael Jackson?
We met at Third Encore.
That's right.
At Third Encore. We met at Third Encore. Which pre-pro for which tour was it? It was like.
But I think I've seen Brian somewhere.
I want to say Buck Cherry. I want to say Buck Cherry. Yeah.
Your face is familiar. It's like, you know, I mean, I remember Five Finger Death Punch open up for Judas Priest. Who was with Five Finger Death Punch again?
Marcys.
Yeah, that's me.
I don't
We've
know
met
if you
before,
were on that
though.
tour. Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I know we've met a few times. I used to do artist relations for a bunch of different gear companies as well over the past many years. So we've probably met in that capacity as well.
Right. And then, yeah, it's interesting.
It's a small world once you get out there. You see the same 25 faces at every festival. And, oh, who are you with this year? Oh, who are you with?
Yeah.
But yeah, I broke up with Kiss and I went with Judas Priest. Or like Judas Priest giving you shit for going with Kiss? Like, yeah, I was like, did that ever happen? The bands ever give you guys shit for working with other bands?
Actually, yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in a way, I get the cold shoulder from Alice in Chains.
Oh shit!
Because I mean, they don't. If I see Jerry or Mike Inez, they wouldn't give me shit. But I know we used to be closer, and I toured with them for 3 years, and then I decided to lock in the Kiss thing, right? Because it's a long-term thing, and the money's better, blah blah blah, right? And I think that it's a little bit of that thing because Alice in Chains is a family relationship, right? And then you got to make that decision. I've had that many times in my career. Oh, dude, traitor, splitter, and, you know.
Well, I guess I was ask because that's something that I never.
That happens.
Oh shit! Anybody else?
Yeah, I still get the guys from Steel Panther giving me crap about going over Five Finger Death Punch all the time. Even when I'm doing shows for Steel Panther in my off time from Five Finger, they're still giving me crap about being mainly with Five Finger Death Punch.
What do they say?
Right.
Oh fuck! What don't they say? I mean, it's Panther, you know. I mean, those guys. They're probably the funniest guys you'll ever meet in your entire life. They're the most genuine, honest, great people.
I love them.
Talented,
Awesome guys.
Yeah, and it's all fun. They're probably one of the most fun bands I've ever worked with. Just in terms of just outright crazy fun, and definitely the most boobs you've ever seen at any metal show ever. Steel Panther. Yeah, you'll never see more boobs.
Pantera show. I got to see a Pantera show in my lifetime. That was the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first show I ever saw was Megadeth, Pantera, and White Zombie.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
One upper guy.
Yeah. Well, hey, I had Dave Mustaine kick me out of my own Guitar World on the last European tour in February. Wow. You know, so
wait.
Take that, Brian.
Get out of my room.
He tried that with me.
Yeah.
He tried that with me.
Yeah, was it between songs? I was setting up the bass rig between songs, and he comes back there like, "What are you doing? Working? Can you do it somewhere else?"
The same impression.
I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll just go over here and fuck myself. See you in a minute. Yeah, he was hilarious. He apologized the next day. He was awesome. Dave's one of the funniest guys, nicest guys ever. But yeah, I got kicked out of my own Guitar World by Dave Mustaine. That's fucking awesome.
Wow.
Hello, Marcus. It's me again.
Oh yeah, good times.
Nice.
Anybody else want to take a crack at that and give them shit at all for fucking working with other bands or what?
No, everybody I've worked for has been like really supportive.
Yeah,
I gotta go pee and I gotta go and for real.
Okay, who said that?
Wes did. Let's on that note, man.
Yeah, dude.
Wes at the hotel, man. Pee on the floor. We've all done it.
Yeah. Don't give everything away, man.
Planned ahead, so
I didn't say what hotel.
Yo, it was a pleasure meeting all of you guys. Thank you,
of course.
Time.
Thank you.
You know,
absolutely.
It was great seeing everybody too.
Thank you.
All right,
see you guys.
Good to see you everyone.
Soon.
See you later, guys.
Oh yeah, big love to everybody.
Hey, Steven, I'm going to give you a call here in a few days.
Sounds great. Great to see you. Great to see all of you.
All of you.
You too.
Bye.
Steven.
I'm going to call you
guys. Be well. Be well.
Yeah, I'll be here. See you guys soon.
Be safe.
See you guys.
Bye, everyone.
Love you guys. Take care.
Yeah.
See you in my dreams, Steven.
What? Sorry?
I said see you in my dreams, Steven.
Oh, good.
He's got lotion, Steve. Look out.
I'm going to go tell my wife about that right now.
Hey, thanks for having me on your show, guys. See ya.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thank you, Marcus. Love seeing you, brother. Yeah.
Mike and Greg, dude, guys, thank you so much. Just what an awesome experience to hear all these guys.
Hey, where'd that girl go that just came through the door a little while ago? Where'd she?
I got to go tell her she's doing a bad job. So
All right. Hey, take care, brother, man. Be safe.
Yeah. Be good, guys.
And then there was Patrick King. We're gonna
Yeah, man,
we're
'cause
hang
I'm
out
still
for a
drinking.
little extra. Yeah,
Yeah, we're doing the after show.
The after show with